Promoting the growth of the tabletop sports hobby, this is ImagiSport.
Hello there and welcome to the ImagiSport Showcase. I'm Derek Jones. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Today we are bringing Second Season Express back on the showcase after a long hiatus there. I am about halfway through my Pennsylvania Football League project for 2023. This is a project that I am combining the efforts of Second Season Express and Fast Drive Football to get through. This is a project I usually have done in the fall in the past, but because the Football America set for second season didn't come out until about early September, I decided to make it a spring league instead. So again, we're about halfway through, and what I'm doing is I'm playing the feature class / game of the week games with Second Season Express, and all the other games are going to be used via Fast Drive Football. So today's contest is a couple of teams which right now are kind of neck and neck for second place in the division, you might say. The Erie Lake Monsters and traveling to Newcastle to take on the Newcastle Nighthawks. The Lake Monsters, which are represented by Portland in the Football America set, come in to today's game with a record of 3 wins and 3 losses, but they got throttled by the Johnstown Iron Dogs last week in Johnstown by the score of 24-3. And actually, they are currently on a 3-game losing streak after winning their first 3 games. Newcastle, on the other hand, represented by Golden Bay, has a record of 4-2 coming into the contest. They defeated York last week on the road, 38-26 in that one. And they are in a little bit of a hot streak. They have won 2 in a row, looking to make it 3 in a row today. So let's not waste any more time. And again, just a couple of house rules that we're going to. I have a play calling chart that I devised for Second Season Express. I know I posted it on the Play Facebook group a long time ago, but I'll put a link to it in the description of this video if you want to use it for your own Second Season Express projects. And then as far as I don't really have many house rules as far as that goes. The only 2 that I do use are, number 1, if there's a touchdown on a kick or touchback on the kickoff, I do not advance time, just my personal preference. And second house rule when it comes to sacks is I will move it back 1 zone on the sack no matter where it's at on the field. In the case where it would go into the end zone for a safety, I would roll a decider to see whether it's a safety or not. So with that out of the way, let's go to Newcastle and get this showcase game started between Erie and Newcastle. Pennsylvania Football League Week 7 coming up right now. All right, so we're just about ready to go here from Newcastle. Between the Lake Monsters and the Nighthawks. Newcastle won the toss off camera. They have deferred, so Erie will get the ball to start today's game. So here we go with the kickoff, and it is an O result, and it is going to be 4 big zones for Erie. So they're going to start this game off close to midfield. And as mentioned earlier, I am using my optional solitaire play calling chart. I have a link to it in the description of this video if you would like to use it yourself. Black die is going to be for the offense, and white is going to be for the defense, read off of here. So for our first play from scrimmage, Erie is calling for a run, going up against a safe defense. Braden Peace brings them to the line, and it's going to be a 43. 4 more players rated run 0 on the offense, and we do not see anybody there, so it is going to be a gain, and that gain is going to go for 1 zone, so they cross over into Newcastle territory. First down for the Lake Monsters. Now we have a pass this time, and that is going to be going up against a safe defense. Pass against safe. Here we go. And it's a 46. Any player on the D line rated 2 pass? There is none. So is the passer's Y greater than 8? Nope. So it is just an incomplete pass. Fourth down. Coming up now for the Lake Monsters, and they are not in field goal range, so they're going to have to punt it away here. And the punt gives them only 2 zones, so that's going to back up Newcastle back around their 20-yard line. 4 minutes gone, first quarter, and no score on the board. CJ Marazzo brings the troops up. He's going to call a pass for his first play. Going up against a blitzing defense. And we have a 46. Any player on the D-line rated 0 pass. There is none. So is Y greater than 6? It is not. It is a sack. And my house rule is no matter where you're at on the field, a sack will go back 1 zone, and I'll roll with the sider if it comes to that for a safety. So they're backed up way in their own end, so they're going to have to punt the ball away to get out of danger, and they only can punt it 3 zones. So turkey on the table for Erie. They start off this drive in Newcastle territory with 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. They're calling for a run this time, and it is going to go up against the safe defense once again. So run versus safe 11. Do we have a double star runner in our midst here? We do not. So it's going to be tackled, and it's going to be a 3rd down. So we'll try it one more time here. They're going to call for another running play, but this time Newcastle expects it. They're going up against a run defense. Let's see what happens here. 32. 2 or more players rated run 2 on the offense. We have 1, and we have 2 with Khalil Aldridge across midfield. So it is a double team block. That is going to be a gain, and it's going to be a gain of 1 zone. First down for the Lake Monsters. And the run seems to be working pretty well, so they're going to go at it again, this time against a pass defense. And we have a 55. Any DB rated 2 pass. Nikendre Lott, the rookie, is, and that's going to be an interception. And it's interception Y, and we need to check on that. Is the Y grade 1 or less? It is not, so it is indeed an interception, and it's going to be in the same zone. So a turnover for the Lake Monsters here, and we will see who's going to get the beneficiary of that INT. We're going to go get to Nikendre Lott since he was called on for that play. So Lott with the INT for Newcastle, and the Nighthawks will take it back over. 6 minutes left in the quarter. No score as we start from just over their 20-yard line. Pass play called here by the Nighthawks this time, going up against a safe defense. And it's going to be a 32. 2 or more players in the offensive backfield rated 2 pass. That is not, so it's going to be incomplete. 3rd down coming up for Newcastle. And so they're going to go back to, actually, this is their first running sequence of the day. And it's going to be going up here against a blitz defense. And it's a 66. 3 or more defenders rated 2 pass. We have 1 in Favreau, 2 in Little. And that is going to be it because Little's already up here. So that's going to be a no. Is the passer's X rating greater than 2? It is. We got a go result, ladies and gentlemen. And that is going to be 6. That's going to be 9 zones. That's going to be good enough for a score for Newcastle. They get on the board first with a touchdown pass. And let's see who's going to catch that pass from Marazzo. We're going to give it to Sammy Holcomb. All right, Seth Vogt coming out here for the extra point. It is up and good. And with 4 minutes left in the quarter, your score is Newcastle 7 and Erie nothing. And here's the kickoff, and this time it's taken at the 1-yard line, brought back out to the 20. Erie back on offense again with 3 minutes remaining in the quarter. They're going to call a pass again. Let's see. Yes, that's their first consecutive pass call. Pass against the blitz defense. And it's going to be a 65. 2 more linebackers. Rated 0 pass. Only one in this check. Is the Y grade less than 3? It is not. It is another interception for Newcastle. And it is going to be 2 zones ahead. So Newcastle takes over once again. Second turnover of the day for the Lake Monsters. And who's going to get the interception this time? It's going to be Kameli King, the linebacker, getting this one. So Newcastle back on offense again on Erie's side of the field. Already leading 7-0 here. And they're going to stick with the running game this time against the safe defense. And it's going to be a 41. 2 or more players rated run 0 on the offensive line. That is a no, so that is going to be a gain result. And it's a gain of 1 zone. Down to the final minute of the quarter here. We're going past this time. And it's going to go up against the safe defense. And it's going to be a 62. Any linebacker rated 2 pass. Cameron Little is in the safe defense. So that is going to be a sack. And that's going to take us to the end of quarter number 1. So we played 1 here in Newcastle. And the score, the Nighthawks lead the Lake Monsters by the score of 7-0. And later on, join us at halftime for our Fast Drive Football halftime report, where we'll give you scores of the other games that happened across the PFL here in Week 7. That's the Fast Drive Football halftime report coming up very shortly. Second quarter now, with that sack putting them in 4th and long territory. There is a chance for a field goal here, although Vogt is a D on the long field goal rating, and since he's 11-14, I think we're just going to go ahead and punt it for field position here. So we'll do just that. 3 zones on the punt's going to knock Erie way back in the shadow of their own goalpost, back inside their own 10-yard line to start this drive here. So they're going to call play here. They're going to go ahead and try to pass their way out of it, but it's going to go up against a pass defense. Looking for yet another turnover. 66, 3 or more defenders rated 2 pass. So we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3 in Truth Jones. So it's going to be another turnover. Are you kidding me? And we're just going to say it's an interception here because they were trying to pass it here. And so it's going to be 2 zones ahead. So once again, holy smokes. 3rd turnover of the day for Erie. And Newcastle knocking at the door once again. And this time it's going to be Jameen. No, it's not going to be Nye this time. We're going to give it to King. That's going to be his 2nd INT of the day. All right, Newcastle threatening once again, already up 7-0. Looking to score one more time. They're going to go back to the run against a safe defense. And it's a 52. At least 1 D lineman rated a run 2. And that's going to be Anwar Sharp. He's going to be a run 2. So the defender sheds the block. And we'll see. And it is going to be a 3rd down play. So the Nighthawks will get another crack at it here. So they're going to go back to the run once again. And again against the safe defense. 42. 2 or more players rated run 0 in the offensive backfield. That is a no. We're going to get a gain here. And that is going to be a gain of 2 zones. So knocking at the doorstep this time, getting ready to score once again. So they're going to change things up this time and go pass. And Erie's going to counter with a blitz. And it's going to be a 45. Offensive penalty kills the drive. Wow. All right, so here comes Seth Vogt. He's going to come out for the chip shot field goal here. 11-65 will get it done. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So 9 minutes remaining until halftime. Vogt's field goal puts Newcastle up by the score of 10-0. And here we go once again with the kickoff. Pretty deep this time. Farrow decides to run it out of his own end zone, but he only gets 2 zones out of it. So, once again, Erie backed up in not so great field position. Down by 10 this time. Let's see if they can hold on to the ball. They're going to go pass once again against the safe defense. Trying to get something going here. 41, any tight end or wide receiver rated a 2 pass. They have absolutely no one, so it's incomplete. 3rd down coming up for Erie. And they're going to go run this time. But it's going to be going up against the run defense. Newcastle called this one. AAA or better runner. Erie has none of those, so it's no gain, and they're going to have to punt it away. So, Kolwich boots the ball, and he boots it 4 zones. So at least it backs up Newcastle somewhat to get the ball around their own 25. 5 minutes to go till halftime. Nighthawks have a 10-point lead. And so they're going to go pass this time against a run defense. And we'll see what happens here. 31. Any player in the offensive backfield rated 2 pass. There is nobody incomplete. 3rd down coming up. Pass again this time. This time, Erie's going safe. 51. Any player on the D-line rated 0 pass in the safe defense. That is a no. And that is a sack. So 2nd sack of the day there for Erie. It's about their only positive they've really had so far in this game. And the Nighthawks are going to have to punt it away, and they'll punt it 4 zones. So 2 minutes to go in half. Erie down 10-0. So we'll see what they'll do here. They're going to try to pass to get into some sort of scoring range here. Although they're going to have to counter their deal with the Newcastle blitz. 23, 2 or more players rated 2 pass on the offensive line. There is nothing. It is a sack, and it is a fumble. So a sack, fumble, and so basically I have to roll the die here. Odd means that there's going to be a return on it. There is. So it's a sack and a fumble and a return. So basically, and that return's going to be 5 zones. And so that's going to be another score for Erie on the defensive side of the ball. So with 1:30 left in the half, Erie's just pouring it on. That is turnover number 4 for all you scoring at home here on the day. And who's going to get that sack? That's going to be Truth Jones. He's going to get the sack. And so we'll say Burkhart picks up the ball and runs it in for the score. So it's now 16-0. Votes a AAA on the extra point, so that's pretty much automatic. So now that makes it 17-0. Here's the kickoff once again, and this time another deep kickoff is going to put the Lake Monsters at their 20-yard line with 1 minute left to go in the half. All right, so they are going run this time against the blitz defense. And it's going to be a 33, at least one player rated run 0 on the offensive line. And that is going to be a no. So we do have a gain here. And it's going to be a 5. It's going to be a gain of 3 zones. As we head on down to 30 seconds left in the half. And decision time coming up for Erie. Newcastle's going to get the ball to start the second half. Let's see if they're in field goal range. They are. So again, decision coming up here. Do we try for the bomb or do we try for the long field goal? Down by 17. Gambrel is AA in the long field goal. So he does have an 11 to 36 chance. Well, we're going to try the long field goal at end of half. See if they can get something out of this. 11 to 36 field goal here to close out the half. It's up and it's no good. So a completely horrible first half for the Erie Lake Monsters. Newcastle scores 10 points in that quarter. 4 turnovers so far in the game for Erie. And they find themselves down at halftime by the score of 17 to nothing. Let's go back to the studio for the Fast Drive Football halftime report. We'll be back with second half action right after this timeout. And it's all Newcastle at halftime thanks to all of those turnovers. They are up 17 to nothing here at the break. And so just wanted to let you know this halftime report is brought to you by Fast Drive Football, one of the game engines we are using here in the Pennsylvania Football League. As you can see, Fast Drive Football is available for free, although it is considered charity wear. So Al Wilson requests that you donate to your favorite charity if you like this game, and many in the community have done so. There are pro and college football versions of Fast Drive Football for you to download, and there's all the pro seasons that you can muster. Again, there's college seasons, there's even Football America seasons on here, and anything that you want Fast Drive Football wise, you can get right here at the Fast Drive Football website. FastDriveFootball.com is where to go to get all these downloads. Once again, it's FastDriveFootball.com. And that's for Fast Drive Football, designed by Al Wilson. Once again, a very fun game to play. And like I said, I'm using that for the other games that I'm playing in this league. So speaking of that, let's take you through around the league and talk to you about what happened in the other games that went on during this week 7, the midway point of the 14-week Pennsylvania Football League season. The Reading Rush came into Wilkes-Barre Scranton and totally demolished the Explorers by the score of 52 to 3. That's right, 52 to 3. They just kept pouring it on, touchdown after touchdown after touchdown in that one. The game was basically over by midway through the second quarter, but like I said, the Rush really did not let up. The Rush are one of the better teams that are in the league. Wilkes-Barre Scranton is proving why they are probably the worst team in the set with their performance in that one. The Altoona Express, after a dreadful season last year, the Express are coming off to a pretty decent start, and they won a key division battle against the Williamsport Lumberjacks by the score of 16 to 10. They got behind the Lumberjacks a little early. They were actually down at halftime by 4 points, but then they scored 10 points in the second half to take that game. Meanwhile, in Harrisburg, the York Stars defeated the Airplanes by the score of 28 to 21. Harrisburg tried to come back late, pulled it to within 1 touchdown. They were able to get the ball back with 3 minutes to go, but they ran out of time. They could not get that tying score, so they end up losing to the Stars there. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, the 3-time defending Keystone Bowl champion Pittsburgh Blasters, picked by many to take a step back this year just because of all the players that they lost during free agency. are actually off to a pretty decent start. 4-2 going into this week, taking on the Johnstown Iron Dogs, and they ended up defeating the Iron Dogs by the score of 31-10. This was a game that was tied late in the second half at 10-10, but then on the ensuing kickoff, after the Blasters tied it with a field goal, the Iron Dogs fumbled the kickoff. The Blasters ran it back for a touchdown, and they did not look back from that. So once again, 31-10, the final there. And then in the other game, the Lehigh Valley Miners defeated the Philadelphia Freedom. Score there was 48-21 in that shootout. And that's going to do it for the Fast Drive Football halftime report. Let's go back out to the field and go to second half action between the Lake Monsters and the Nighthawks. Okay, here to start the second half here. Erie to kick off for the first time today, down 17-0. Gambril's a AAA on kickoffs, so when Gambrill kicks off, we have to check for the touchback. So in this case, just to save some time, I'll roll 2 dice for Gambril's kickoffs. Black die will be to check to see if the touchback even means it is, and if it is not a touchback, we'll check the white die for the kickoff result. So not a touchback, and it is going to be a 1. So Newcastle's going to bring it up to zone 2, and that's how the second half is going to begin. Our consecutive drives do carry over from the first half, just in case you're wondering, and they're calling pass. That is their 4th consecutive pass dating back to the first half. So we're going to go pass against pass here. And it's going to be a 53. 2 more DBs rated to pass. That is a no. Is passers wide greater than 6? Not. That's just an incompletion. So the Nighthawks will punt it away, and they'll get 4 zones out of this punt. And so Erie will take over. But they need to get some offense going here. They are down by 17 points. And they're going to try a run, but it's going to be going up against a run defense. The Newcastle defense has had all the answers today leading up to this point. 22. Any runner rated F. No F runners whatsoever on Erie's team. So we are going to have a gain here. And that gain is going to be 1 zone as they inch closer to midfield. And so they're going to go run again. Worked the last time? Why not? Going up against a safe defense. And it's a 63. And that's a fumble. But it's going to be a video 1. So we'll roll again. 61-66 means it's overturned. It is not. So, yes, turnover number 5 for the Lake Monsters today. Pretty hard to win when you're giving up the ball that many times, especially in your own territory. So here come the Lake Monsters again. Once again starting inside of Erie territory here. And they're going to go pass again. So once again, it's going to be pass against pass. And it's going to be at 14. Completion grade C or better, you bet it is. It's going to be a completion, and it's going to be 2 zones. Going to bring them down inside the 20. And this time they're going to switch it up and call a run. But it's going to be against a run defense. 54. And they fumble it. Now nobody wants to hold on to the ball. Was a fumble V1. Overturned, not overturned. So for the first time today, Erie is the beneficiary of a turnover. And with 8 minutes to go in the third, they're still down by 17. But we'll see if this will give them a little bit of momentum. And so they're going to take to the air here. Going up against the run defense. 52. 2 or more players on the D-line. Rated to pass. That is a no. That is a completion. And that completion is only going to be for 2 zones. So they're still on their side of the field. But at least they're moving the ball. And they're going to go pass one more time. But this time, Newcastle's onto them. It's going to be a pass defense. And it's going to be a 31. Any player in the O backfield rated 2 pass. That's a no. That falls incomplete. And they're just going to have to punt it away. And that punt's going to be 3 zones. So, the Lake Monsters, I should say the Nighthawks, will get it back with 5 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. And so they will run it once again against a run defense. 61, at least one linebacker. Rated run 0, not in the run defense. So it is going to be a loss and a 3 and out for Newcastle. They're going to punt it right back. And we get an O result this time. And that O result is going to be a snap. And so we're going to go to the snap column and do that. It's going to be 4 zones. He's able to get it away. So now we're down to 3 minutes left. Let's see if Erie can get on the board here. They're going to go ahead and run it this time against the safe defense. $14. A or better runner. Well, that is going to have to depend on whether it's an inside run or an outside run. Odd means it is inside. And it is odd. It is inside. It is going to be a gain. And that gain is going to be an XR result. This is just what Erie needed. 3 zones. And finally, Erie is in Newcastle territory with 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. They're going to go run once again. Safe defense. 31. At least one player rated run 2 in the O backfield. Aldridge is, since they're across midfield, so it's going to be another gain. And it's going to be a gain of 1. And so this time they are going to pass it against the safe defense. 25. Any player on the O-line rated 0 pass. Yes, across midfield Grayson Coughlin is, so that is going to be a sack. And that's going to kill that drive. So now Chase Gambrill is going to go out again, but he's a quad A this time. So quad A zone 3, 11-63. As we head towards the end of the quarter here. Kick is up and kick is good. And so that is it for the quarter. So at the end of the 3rd quarter here, 17-3 is your score. And now I'm wondering, did I mess something up here? That should have probably been the first play of the 4th quarter. Now that I'm thinking about it, because time would have already expired here. So we'll play it like that. So no scoring in the 3rd. There was a scoring in the 4th quarter. But now they finally get on the board. Coming up at the end of the game is going to be our Play Classic post-game show. Take you a look at the standings going on here in the Pennsylvania Football League. That's the Play Classic post-game show coming up at the conclusion of today's game. All right, no touchback here. So we're going to go 3 zones out. And so there it is for Newcastle. So Newcastle leading. They're going to try to kill some clock here. And they will, according to my solitaire play calling chart. They're going to keep it on the ground, going up against the pass defense. And it's going to be a 13. Is the runner AA or better? Nope. So 3rd down play. Go ahead and kill some more clock. This time they are going to pass it to try to keep the ball out of Erie's hands here. And oh, I forgot to check the defense on that. We'll just say it's going to be a blitzing defense and we'll re-roll. So pass versus blitz, 46. Any player on the D-line rated 0 pass against the blitz. That is a no. Y is greater than 6. No. So that is going to be a sack. So they're going to have to punt it away. There's still a chance for Erie in this game, though. 3 zones on the punt. 10 minutes left. They're only down by 2 scores. If they can get a score here, it's anybody's ball game. So they're going to take to the air once again, going up against a run defense. They almost have to be in passing mode now, to be honest. 43, 2 or more wide receivers or tight ends. Rated a 0 pass. That is a no. That is a completion, and that completion is going to be an XP result, and that is going to be a 3. So the Lake Monsters are driving down once again. And they're going to pass it one more time. But this time it's going to be against a pass defense. 63. Interception. And you figured that was coming sooner or later. It's going to be 3 zones ahead, so it is going to be a touchback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is turnover number 6. And the INT, we'll give it to Nikendre Lott again. All right. So a glimmer of hope for Erie goes by the wayside here. That is now 17-3. All right, Newcastle's going to pass once again this time, and is going to be against the safe defense. 65, 2 or more linebackers. Rated 0 pass, not in the safe, so Y is less than 4. It is, so that's going to be an incomplete pass. And here's the punt by Bormeister, and it's going to be 4 zones. Clock down to 6 minutes to go. In regulation time, Erie needs a couple of touchdowns to tie things up. And they're going to pass it. That's their 4th consecutive pass call, so it's going to be pass against pass. 44, 2 or more players on the D-line. Rated 2 pass. That is a no. That is a completion, but only 1 zone, as it was just a dump-off bubble screen. All right, so now we're down to 5 minutes left, which means they are really in passing mode here. So once again, we're going to go pass versus pass. 41, any tight end or wide receiver, rated 2 pass. That is a no. It's an incomplete, but it's going to be V3. And V3 means that 54-66, this is going to be overturned. And it is not. So it is an incomplete pass. And they're going to have to go. They're in 4 down clock territory here. So they're going for it. And they're going to surprise them with a run, just to try to get the first down. So run against safe. And it's going to be a 24, 2 or more players, rated run 2 in the O backfield. That's not going to happen. That is going to be no gain. But this time, we have V2. So again, it's going to be a V2. But the V2 only says that with 61-66, it's going to be a turnover anyway. So we're not even going to bother with that. And we're just going to say Erie's just going to lose it on downs. All right, so Erie wrapping things up here. And they're going to just run it. It's going to be against a run defense. And this will be the final play sequence of the game. 32, 2 or more players, rated run 2 on the offense. They got 2 because they're out of midfield. So it is going to be a gain. And, it's going to be an XP result. And it's going to be 3 zones. So that's going to take them down here. But since we're at the 2-minute mark, they're up by 14. They're just going to run the clock out. And that's going to do it for today's game. So your final score, the Newcastle Nighthawks defeat the Erie Lake Monsters by the score of 17-3. Let's go back to the studio for the PLAAY Classic post-game show. So the Nighthawks tighten things up in the PFL's Western Division, as you'll see in just a moment, as they come away with a 17-3 victory over the Erie Lake Monsters today on the Pennsylvania Football League's Game of the Week. If you want to sum it up in one word, how about turnover? 6 turnovers for Erie in this game. Pretty hard to win when you are giving the ball away that many times. We are at the PLAAY Classic post-game show, and this post-game show, of course, brought to you by PLAAY Classic, makers of Second Season Express, actually. One of the games that I am using for this Pennsylvania Football League project. The Express version and the full PLAAY version, of course, are available at the PLAAY Games website, as you can see right here. And if we go to the Shop All Products, you'll see that there are different game books you can get. You can get different types of team cards, play mats. There's the Football America team cards that I am using. A lot of these seasons come in both card and PDF format. There's even a how-to guide that you can get as well. So basically, the games itself from $57. And of course, the Express version is $21. Like I said, you can get your playmat here. You can get a bundle. So basically, and then of course, there's a lot of free stuff too in the free stuff section, and of course across the community. PLAAY.com is your place to get all this. 2 A's in the word play. PLAAY.com to get everything for Second Season and Second Season Express. Before we wrap up today's broadcast, I'm just going to take a look at the standings right now for the Pennsylvania Football League, especially since I haven't really posted my results anywhere. I posted them on Delphi in the past. I just did not gotten around to doing that. Just too many other things going on for me game-wise and real life in order to do that. But let me just pull up this slide real quick and show you how the standings are looking, as we are now officially at the halfway point of the Pennsylvania Football League season. In the Eastern Division, the Reading Rush are running away with things. They are 6-1. Lehigh Valley, 2 games behind them at 4-3. Philadelphia is at 3-4. And then, as mentioned at halftime, Wilkes-Barre Scranton, by far and away the worst team in the league. They are 0-7. In the Central Division, Altoona, much improved from last year. They are 5-2. Meanwhile, the other 3 teams in the division, Harrisburg, Williamsport, and York, are all struggling at 2-5. Totally opposite in the PFL Western Division, as we have a 3-way tie for first place between Johnstown, Newcastle, and Pittsburgh. All 3 of those have 5-2 records, and then the Erie Lake Monsters are coming in behind them at 3-4. And in case you're wondering, 6 teams will make the playoffs in the Pennsylvania Football League, 3 division winners and 3 wild cards, which means that the 2 teams, the 2 division winners with the best records, will have buys in the first round of the playoffs. Coming up on the channel here pretty soon. Not sure when I'll get to it. Just with the way things are in my life right now, it's kind of touch and go as to whether I can record or not. But I do want to get Face to the Mat back out on the table. I've got to get that go home episode of Old School Wrestling out, as we are paving the road to Uprising. Try to get that super card all planned out by running another show of the OSWA on Face to the Mat. Also have another idea or 2 for great games of the past I'd like to show you. Might throw in some look-ins or some other short videos sometime between now and then. But again, it's going to be tough, of course, between my strat leagues and our History Maker baseball, so Baseball America co-ops kicking off this month. So, but like I said, I'll try to get videos out when I can. That's about the only thing that I can promise at that point. I do thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Feel free to like the video, comment. My channel description shows all the games I have, so if there's a particular game you want to see on the channel, please just let me know. I'll do my best to oblige. So that's going to Wrap it up for today's edition of the Showcase. Once again, your final score from Newcastle in Pennsylvania Football League action. The Newcastle Nighthawks 17 and the Erie Lake Monsters 3 with Second Season Express. From all of us here at ImagiSport, this is Derek Jones saying thank you once again for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and most of all, keep on rolling. We'll see you later.